What's up, everybody? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button to the Hoops Tonight YouTube channel, and then follow me on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter so you guys don't miss any of our content over the course of this season. All right, let's talk some basketball. All right, so let's move on to this passive-aggressive LeBron stuff. So first of all, we've had all sorts of reporting behind the scenes for a while. I had heard specifically that LeBron and AD were just done with Darvin Ham at one point in time. That was about a month ago, or earlier in January, I should say, not quite a month ago. But we're seeing all sorts of passive-aggressive stuff. I've seen Anthony Davis walk out of a huddle. I've seen LeBron have really bad body language in a huddle. LeBron post-game last night gets cut off by a reporter and goes like, "Thanks for stopping me. I was about to go off." He tweets last night the hourglass emoji. It's just a lot of classic LeBron passive-aggressive stuff. So now, for the record, I do not think that LeBron James is going to leave Los Angeles. His kids are in LA. I think he loves playing for the Lakers. I think he loves I think he loves playing in Crypto.com Arena. I think he loves playing in front of the celebrities. I think he feels the stage and the vibe and the history of the organization, and I think he loves that. And quite frankly, he's going to be in his 22nd season next year. I don't think he's in a position from an age standpoint to start a new venture. So my opinion is that all of this is classic LeBron stuff just to try to apply pressure on the front office to get a trade done. That's what I think is happening. But we're going to have some fun here. I want to contemplate different examples of opportunities for LeBron to potentially leave the Lakers and go help another team win a championship just for fun. So first of all, what type of team would LeBron help the most? A team with like an opening in that big forward spot, right? To a team that's already in the title mix, right? Like LeBron's not going to leave for another iffy situation, right? That would serve no purpose. And then lastly, a team that could use size and power on the front line. So specifically teams that struggle with defensive rebounding, help side defense, interior playmaking, whether it's out of the post or in just an overall like kind of bully ball attack around the basket, like matchup attacking. Those are the kinds of teams that we would be looking at, right? So what I want to do here, I want to give my top 5 favorite LeBron James destinations. Now, important caveat here. I'm looking at, because there's a bunch of different ways this could go down, right? Like LeBron could ask for a trade at this deadline, right? Like LeBron could opt into his new deal and then ask for a trade this summer. That would probably be like the most likely scenario. If LeBron wanted to leave, he'd probably opt in and ask for a trade because he'd probably want to make sure he gets paid what he deserves. But that would make things really complicated and severely limit the types of teams that could go after him. So I am building this list based purely on the idea of LeBron signing an exception to start with the team. So whether that's a veteran minimum exception or like the whatever mid-level exception the team has available, depending on their situation with their salary cap, I'm looking at LeBron signing with these teams outright. And I'm going to give you guys my top 5 here, and I'll explain why I like the move for each team. You'll know real when you get it. It'll say eBay Authenticity Guarantee, and you'll feel it. Because when it comes to your feet, eBay has your back. Maybe it's a head-turning pair for hooping or a hot new collab. Whatever you're after, when you cop on eBay, you can trust that your kicks will be checked by experts. Not just any experts, sneaker experts who live and breathe the culture. Real people with real hands-on authentication experience. That's what the blue check mark represents on our listings. eBay Authenticity Guarantee, meaning every inch, stitch, sole, and logo is verified authentic through a detailed inspection. So when you finally step into those Grail kicks, you'll realize that the feeling is unlike any other. And with eBay's Authenticity Guarantee, that feeling of real is always within reach. Ensure your next purchase is the real deal. Visit ebay.com for terms. Number 5, the Minnesota Timberwolves. He'd be surrounded by, now again, like we're looking at a construct here where you're looking at like Anthony Edwards, Mike Conley, Jaden McDaniels, LeBron James, Rudy Gobert. He'd be surrounded by excellent defensive players and a ton of regular season motor to just kind of help him over the course of the regular season. He'd be an excellent backline guy without having to overexert himself on that end of the floor. He'd play alongside a young superstar and Anthony Edwards, who can carry a good chunk of the offensive load in the regular season. Anthony Edwards, too, Kind of reminds me a lot of young LeBron, where he just brings an insane amount of athleticism, motor, and competitiveness to every regular season game, which I think would be a great fit there. And then lastly, I think LeBron could help them with late game execution. This was one of the biggest weaknesses for the Timberwolves all season long. Like half-court offense, slow down, clutch time offense. That's a specific area where LeBron would be able to help. I think if you add LeBron at the 4 with the Minnesota Timberwolves, they immediately become a top-tier contender. Number 4, the Oklahoma City Thunder. He specifically addresses everything they suck at. He's the big forward they don't have on the roster. He would help with defensive rebounding. They have no post presence. As a matter of fact, the Thunder run the 3rd fewest post-ups in the league. And so LeBron would kind of bring that matchup attacking element to that front line that they don't have. And he provides the experience and leadership that a team like this would need to navigate a deep playoff run. And once again, just like we talked about with the Timberwolves, a young team with a ton of defense and shot creation and athleticism and motor to carry them through the regular season. So, important context with number 5 and number 4. Minnesota and Oklahoma City are really small markets. And so they're extremely unlikely, because even in the event that LeBron did decide to move, it's just hard to imagine LeBron being like, I'm going to finish my career in Minnesota, or like, I'm going to finish my career in Oklahoma City. So I am abundantly aware of the fact that those are basically just never, ever, ever going to happen. But as a basketball fan, those are examples of two teams positionally, with the way those rosters are constructed, that he would be a really good basketball fit with. These last 3 are like somewhat more legitimate for various reasons. In the event that LeBron did choose to leave, these teams actually make sense for him as destinations. So, number 3, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Just like Oklahoma City, they don't post up. As a matter of fact, they are one of only 2 teams in the league that post up less frequently than Oklahoma City. The Cavs are a massive pick and roll attack. Tons and tons and tons of spread pick and roll. And so they don't really have a lot of diversity in their offense. LeBron would help them a lot with that, just giving them an additional matchup attacking option as a bully ball forward, right? Secondly, late game execution. The Cavs are the 4th worst clutch offense in the league. LeBron would help them significantly on that front. And again, just the idea of matchup attacking. I love the idea of like a Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James 2-man game at the end of games to pick on specific matchups and to generate high quality shots. And then he could really help with Evan Mobley's development. I think in the short term, it would be a little complicated, because like Jared Allen is just a better kind of center and anchor right now than Evan Mobley, and you don't like the idea of Evan Mobley coming off the bench, right? But in the long run, you could see better an option where maybe you can get away with LeBron at the 4 and Evan Mobley at the 5 because of LeBron's strength, right? And I think maybe you lean into that sort of thing. But most importantly, it's a place that you could see LeBron actually wanting to end his career. If you heard, oh, LeBron's leaving the Lakers to go back to Cleveland and finish his career there, you'd be like, oh yeah, that makes some sense, just because of LeBron's history in that city, right? Number 2, the Golden State Warriors. This is a fun one. Really would help with interior size and strength, which is one of the bigger weaknesses on the roster. Also an alternative playmaker. We've talked about this all season long and extending back into the postseason last year. It just comes down to way too often Steph being the only guy who can generate a quality shot. LeBron would be able to just alleviate some of that for him. 3, he gets to stay in California and be relatively close to his kids. So it makes some logistical sense from the standpoint of where he is at this point in his life. And then lastly, Steph and LeBron playing together would just be really cool. I think they're the 2 best players of this era. I don't think the roster is talented enough that people would discount any success of those 2 guys. I think if Steph and LeBron won a title together at this phase, with Steph turning 36 in March and LeBron being 39 years old, I think it would actually be more of a testament to the greatness of those 2 rather than some sort of detriment because they did it together, especially with some of the limitations of talent around them. Also, Jonathan Kuminga, with his athleticism and with the shooting that he's demonstrating as of late, shooting over 50% from 3 over the 7-game span. I actually think he could theoretically play the 3 next to LeBron and Draymond Green. And so, just as a basketball fan, I think that would be really, really fun to see the 2 of them play together. And then lastly, our last one, the number 1 place that I'd like to see LeBron James go if he left the Los Angeles Lakers, the New York Knicks. Another huge market, a franchise with a ton of history. They are legitimately built to win the title with a couple of upgrades. Just imagine like a significantly better version of Julius Randle, a better shooter, a better matchup attacker, a better defensive player, better attitude, better leader, better all of that stuff, right? And you can imagine, obviously, with Mitchell Robinson being back, like this incredibly physically imposing front line of OG Anunoby, LeBron James, and Mitchell Robinson, alongside an excellent point of attack defender in Dante DiVincenzo and Jalen Brunson. And specifically, the Jalen Brunson fit kind of reminds me of the Kyrie Irving fit with the Cavaliers, in the sense that like he's more of like an individual shot creator on an island who also is capable of passing, but Jalen is a guy that like picks on matchups primarily looking to score. And I think that complements LeBron really, really well. And again, like you can just imagine LeBron potentially enjoying being at Madison Square Garden, enjoying the history, enjoying playing for the celebrity in front of the celebrities, enjoying, trying to add another chapter to his legacy in reviving the New York Knicks, although they've already kind of started that revival, right? But like of all of the teams out there, there are a lot of options that make sense. But I thought the New York Knicks had that best balance of like he would get the majority of the credit, and you know how much that matters to LeBron, the history, the franchise, the actual proximity to championship contention. It just makes a lot of sense.